Good morning, everybody. We got John Mack, Minnesota Maker. Mike Whaley's here. Ed, Paphouse Projects is here. John, Trolling for Dollars. Good morning, guys. Well, like the title says, I'm in a bit of a creative funk. And I'm not sure what to blame for it, really. It is the time of year that can be a little bit of a funk as it is for me. And morning, Red Light. Morning, Scalda. And D is here. This time of year kind of gets a little, for lack of a better word, depressing. Just, because music is the thing that is the most fulfilling thing for me, and music is not as good this time of year. So maybe that's part of it, but nothing that I've tried to design in the last week and a half has worked out. Either, I just outright hate it, or it doesn't work at all. And so it's kind of left me in a little bit of a funk, and been battling, some computer issues and whatnot. So hopefully this computer stays running duration of the stream. We're about a month away from that problem being solved, though. I got a new computer, or we'll be getting a new computer here next month. So I'm hoping to dig myself out of the funk before too long. Yeah, John, I just I didn't know who would want to show up and watch a stream in which I'm not successfully designing anything. But I thought, well, I can't avoid it forever. So I thought we'll fire up a stream today. We'll fire up Blender. Cross our fingers that the computer doesn't shut off on me, and see if we can dig out of it. Mike, it shuts off. It just turns itself off, and it'll do it even when I'm not using it. Like, it'll just be on. I'll be in the room and notice that it'll just shut off, and it does it with increasing regularity. When it first started doing it, it was only doing it once a week or so, and it's gotten to the point now where it does it 3, 4, 5 times a day. Well, I would think, if it was overheating, it'd be doing so when under load. That's why the thing that doesn't make any sense to me is I won't have any computer, or won't have any programs running, won't even be using the computer. I'll just be in the room messing with, 3D print, one of the 3D printers, or assembling something, and I'll just hear the computer kick off. Because it'll do it even when it's like in sleep mode. Ben, good morning, sir. And Mike, Never Let the Machines Win, is here as well. Good morning. So, I don't know what's causing it, but I also know that, I've been planning on getting a new computer for a while. And my next BMI royalty comes in March. And when that comes in, it's already been earmarked for nothing but computer. So I'm going to use every penny of that to get the best computer I can. Brian Vines, good morning, sir. Oh no, Mike. I mean, it's not your fault, man. I mean, I appreciate every minute of use I've gotten out of this machine, man. It's it was better for me than what I had before, and it's gotten me this far, and it's made it almost to the point of being that stopgap between my old computer and the next new computer. So we're 1 month and 10 days away, 10 or 11. I'll have to go back and look at log into BMI and look. They tell me what my payment schedule day is, but it's either March 15th or 16th, which will work out because my birthday is March 18th. So I'll be basically getting a new computer for my birthday. Yeah, and that's you know, last Tuesday I thought, I was like, man, I don't have a tutorial. I haven't printed anything new, designed anything really, groundbreaking to show off. So I was like, I just, so today may just end up being that. I'm gonna open up Blender today and try to dig myself out of my creative funk. And the best way that I have to combat that, which I know probably doesn't make a lot of sense because I have so many other projects that are in the works but not done, that I should sit down and work on those. But the best way for me to combat things when I get into a creative funk is just to start designing something new. So we'll open today and I'll design something new. The last new thing that I did design, let me just drag this over here. Let's open Blender. Yeah, yeah. Well, and like I said, it may be this time of year to blame as well. I get into these little funks in February all the time, and it's because February is the month that I end up with the most free time on my hands, usually, because my Sunday and Monday shows go away. So I don't have shows on Sunday or Mondays. So then I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off for the whole month. And, as I've said before, music is the thing that is probably the most personally gratifying thing that I do. It keeps me feeling young, I guess. It keeps me feeling out there and important and all that kind of stuff. And so I know it's silly to tie your self-worth into your work, I guess, but I truly love what I do. I've said it before that I truly believe that I have the best job in the world. I couldn't imagine my life doing anything else. And when I go from having 6 shows a week to having 4 and working only 3 days a week, and then even that, there's fewer people at those shows, so those shows feel less rewarding. They're not as fulfilling, because you'll go from a show where, well, like the last Sunday show that I had before my Sundays went away, and that's partly why they go away, I had 3 people in 4 hours. I spent 2 hours playing to an empty room, and then 3 people came in and sat with me for the last 2 hours. And it wears on you a little bit. Right, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Never let the machines win, Mike. We got 3 mics here, so I have to specify. Vince, good morning, sir. So it's, yeah, and I can't even blame the weather. The weather has been, it's rainy today, but it's 60 degrees outside. Yeah, always let the mics win. Well, right now they're winning by sheer number alone. There's 3 of them here. And so, I don't know. It's February. That's what it is. It gets a bit depressing when shows go away. I hate when I lose shows. The light at the end of the tunnel is they come back in March. And around mid-March, the tourists start coming back. Once we hit like spring break season, from that point forward, we're rocking and rolling through like October, where I'll get to a point during that stretch where I'll become tired and overworked because I'll be picking up extra shows, and then I'll get to a point where I've been picking up so many extra shows I start turning shows down, and all the shows have good crowds and good income, and it's great. It's great. It's exhausting, but it's great. And I know that this time of year is coming. I know it ahead of time, and I know that it's going to do that, but it still affects me. I try not to let it, but right, yeah, it's from the week that immediately follows New Year's Eve. Your pay for shows drops easily in half, if not to a third on some shows. And then the number of shows goes down too. And so the month of February becomes a really hard one to get through. And even though you know it's coming and you sock away a little extra, like the reason I don't have a new computer already is my last BMI check, instead of buying a new computer, got socked away in the savings account to pay for this month to keep me alive. And I'm like, okay, well, when March rolls around, the income should be coming back, the shows will be coming back, so I can use that one. Should be free and clear to just buy a computer. And so I got my eyes on a computer already. I thought about building one, but man, I sat down and put together a shopping list of all the parts. And just in parts alone, I was at like $1,200, and that was before operating system or anything. And I went, wow. Yeah. That was no operating system, no keyboard, no mouse, no monitors, just $1,200 in a tower. Yeah, and I can buy off the shelf a tower that has the same stuff with the operating system, keyboard, mouse, everything for the same price. So I don't know. I'm looking at one right now that if the royalty check will cover it, is it's $1,400. Um, but it's a Ryzen 7, 16 gigs of RAM, and NVIDIA 2070. Oh, you got a Lenovo discount? Check that out. Where'd my chat go? There it is. Let's see what kind of computers they have. Which I've found with what I'm doing, it's best for me to just go straight out and look into gaming computers, because gaming computers have all the stuff that I need. because the only other way to get make sure I get everything I need is to look at workstations, and then they become much more expensive than even gaming computers. Those are kind of cool. Not a laptop, not a laptop. Towers. Let's take a look at that. Um, probably the $1,200 to $1,500 range. Um, to get everything that I want it to have, because I want this next computer needs to last for a while. Um, I was close to the other day buying a computer that was not going to meet all of the things that I wanted it to, just because it was cheap. And my wife actually talked me out of it. She's like, "Look, is this if you buy this computer, are we 6 months from now we're having the same discussion about needing another computer?" And I was like, "Well, not 6 months, but maybe a year and a half." And she said, "No." She said, "If you buy what you want, how long are we talking?" I'm like, "Probably 5, 6 years." And she said, "Well, then it doesn't make any sense not to spend a little bit more and get more usage out of it." Yeah, hardware. Building your own was much cheaper pre Bitcoin days. Cryptocurrency has ruined that, because they've made all the graphics cards, because graphics cards, people use the GPU to process that stuff, and because of that, graphics cards have went through the roof. Like I said, the one that I was looking at has the Ryzen 7, 16 gig of RAM, and the 2070 NVIDIA graphics card in it, that I think was a 8 gig card. Um, and I couldn't piece together the parts and build the computer for the price that you can buy it off the shelf. Couldn't do it. Yeah, the one I'm looking at, it has 4 RAM slots, and so it will max at 64, but it comes with 16. Oh wow, okay. So I'm looking at the link you sent me, John. The They've got one with the ninth gen Core i7 9700K processor, 16 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, and a 256 gig solid state drive, and the 8 gig 2070 graphics card. After the discount, it says 1287. I just would like a solid state drive big enough to run the operating system and some of the programs. Like I would like to run Blender directly off of the solid state drive. So yeah, the 8 gig 2070 graphics card, the 9th gen Core i7 9700K. That's better than what I was looking at for $100 less. Well, I think the 9th gen Core i7 is better than the Ryzen 7. It's essentially what I was looking at, just the Intel processor versus the AMD Ryzen 7, and it's $100 cheaper. So yeah, the solid state drive doesn't have to be huge because like all the files that I save and stuff like that, they don't need to be on the solid state. You know, they can just be, you know, on a regular storage drive. But I would like to run the program itself off of the solid state, and the operating system, of course, is a must to run off of the. Now, what makes this one $200 something more? Oh, it's 32 gig of RAM. Same processor, same graphics card. A 2 terabyte storage drive, but the solid state drive is the same size. So doubling the RAM and the storage drive for another $216. Morning, Don. Let's go back and look at their other computers here. Oh, their next step up computer isn't even available. What are these cubes? Look at those. So yeah, this is definitely not getting anything done today. I'm computer shopping while you guys watch. Sorry, guys. 16 gig RAM, 2070. Yeah, hold on. Let me go over here and put this on the screen share, and then move chat over here, and grab this, and drag it over here. Get my chat pulled back up where I can see it. Yeah, I don't like the cubes. Back up. So this was the one I was looking at here. world? Where'd it go? Bounced me all the way down there. View models. There we go. All right. So this is the one here in the middle. 1287.99. The 9th gen Core i7, 9700K. 16 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, and 256 gig solid state for the OS. And Blender would fit on there too. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2078 gig. Yeah, it doesn't look like they let you customize the gaming PCs. I don't know. Maybe we'll go back and look at the non-gaming world. Products. Oh, go back one more. Desktops. Well, let's just see. Let's see what the workstation family costs. Not a ThinkPad. Slideshow. Let's take a look at their big boy in the workstation category here. Close Blender. All right, Blender is closed. Still says my encoder is overloaded. I don't know. I had oh wow. Never mind. Page crashed. I had twin dual core Xeons in my previous computer, and it lasted me for like 10 years. And it handled everything I threw at it for 10 years. All right, well, let's open Blender again. Let's try to get out of this funk. Maximize the screen. So what is it? There it is. So the last thing I designed was this little guy here, and I still haven't printed it out. I was testing a different way of going about building like the bodies to try to make them thinner and easier to design. I haven't printed it out yet to test that. The folks on my my Patreon supporters, they can print and test it if they would like. Uh-oh. Anyway, it's up and available for Patreon. That's the last thing that I successfully designed. This little go-kart. So anyway, that's what it looks like. Hey Ben, we were just talking about battling creative funks. That's what I'm in right now. And nope, that's not it. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. And I told you guys I was going to. I don't know if I ever showed you that I got it. The Amelin color change filament, which they sent me a message on through my email through Amazon, begging for a review of their filament. This stuff goes from black to orange to yellow, or it says black, brown to yellow. But yeah, it's 3-color filament, and I want to give it a try. And I was thinking about maybe printing the go-kart body in that, but I haven't opened it yet. Yeah, and they sent me a teeny tiny little sample of filament that I won't be printing because I do not have a nozzle to print it. It's glow in the dark. So they sent me a small sample of glow in the dark that I will not be printing because I do not have a nozzle to print it with. Because I know that glow in the dark is abrasive and tears up nozzles. And I don't have any hardened nozzles. And it's blue glow in the dark. Yeah, so it was packaged with the color change film. I will say, I hope it prints well because it was expensive. I could have bought, for just a few dollars more, I could have bought 3 rolls of filament. Because I got my last shipment of Amazon Basics. Three rolls of Amazon Basics Black PLA. And it was on sale for $39.99 the day that I bought it. And I use a lot of black filament. So $39.99 for 3 rolls of black PLA. This was $34.99. So $5 less than the 3-pack of black filament. So I hope it prints well. Yeah, this was $34.99 for a kilogram. So I will be, when I do print it, get around to printing it, I will be taking that into consideration when I print it. And it, you know, if it doesn't print well for me, you know, I'll be more critical of it because it was expensive. But I was, you know, enthused to try some color changing, you know, fun stuff. So yeah, the little go-kart there is the last thing that I designed. And I've been in a funk ever since I got it done. Everything else that I've sat down to work on has not went well. I'm working on a half-track version of the VSV. else that I worked on can I show you? The tank is still sitting here, which I've got to print some more tread. I thought I had enough tread printed, but when I was trying to assemble it, I broke several pieces. And so now I got to fire up the printer and print some more because I'm that shy of having the second side done. And then I haven't been printing on the body because, well, I thought about adding this thing to, as an optional piece for the front. And then I thought, well, if I do that, I need mounting places here on the body. And so I didn't want to print a 22-hour print just to go back and have to redo it. It might, Mike. I haven't even sliced it. Go back to the cart. Oh, what did I open recent? Let's go back to the cart. Which I saw something on the cart that I want to fix anyway. I don't know what's going on there. I need to get rid of that. Yeah, man. Everybody made a big deal out of the fact that I didn't stream last week. That's the main reason I'm streaming today, even though I'm still on my little creative bleh. I don't know what is going on with these faces here. See if I can't fix this. See what I mean? Nothing wants to cooperate with me lately. Yeah, the main reason Blender recommends that is rendering animations, which I don't really do animation. A single card with 8 gigs of RAM will do. It'll do the job. Which is why I'm looking at the 2070. Hide the frame. Head back in. That's the main reason I'm looking at the 2070 anyway. Dang it. Alright, that's better. Unhide the frame. And kill the mirror modifier on those. Yeah, well, Walter's got a little bit bigger camper than you do. Sculta. His camper's huge. So he's got lots of room. Oh, man. Okay. Let's do this. Select all that. Delete vertices. Add modifier mirror along the Y, clipping, not the X. That'll fix that. I just check no non-manifold edges. All right, we're good. So then we're going to File, Export, STL, Desktop, Cart, Body, Selection Only, Scale 1000, Export. Then we're going to open Cura. And we're going to slice it and take a look at it. Yeah, I guess financial decisions become much easier when you don't have to run them past anybody. I gotta run all my financial decisions past the CFO. And she tells me yes or no. Which is a good thing I have that. It's a good thing I have that because there's yeah, I would have more stuff, but I would be probably in more trouble. I believe the Nozzle X has got some sort of special coating on it, like inside and out, all over it, that um, plastic will not stick to, cannot stick to. And it's also supposed to be really tough, I believe, and so I think you can print abrasive material without destroying the coating, and nothing sticks to it. And where is cart? Let's slice the body real quick and take a look. Prepare. Yeah, that's the word, Ryan. I couldn't think of the word. 4.5 hours to print. It's not bad. So this will be by far the smallest thing I've designed, vehicle I've designed. It will also by far have the thinnest walls. That was the thing the whole thing I was designing it to test was can I get away with thin walls. So 4.5 hours for the body. And that's the only part that I would be printing in the Amelin. Since I already have black loaded up, I need to look at the parts that I would probably print in black. So the frame, the axles, console, do the engine and exhaust over on the X1 and do them in silver. The seat, steering wheel, and the wheels. No, let's not do it that way. Let's just bring in just the frame and print just the frame. Prepare. Four hours and 9 minutes for the frame. Let's take it one piece at a time or one component at a time. Grab my SD card. It's only 41 grams of plastic. I believe there's still enough on that roll to do that. Plug in the old SD reader. Did you guys see that Cura 4.0 is in beta? Has anybody tried it yet? So there's the cart frame. we'll want the wheels to be black as well. And try it without support. It's multiply selected model 3 more times. One piece at a time. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not a big Johnny Cash fan. I like a few of his songs, but Johnny was not a good guy, which affects my opinion of his music. Oh, I ejected that one. I did the thing, didn't I? I didn't mean to do that. Plug that back in. So, wheels. We'll do those in black and get those printed today on the S4. I'll have the X1 print the axles, the engine and exhaust. I have not fired this printer up in over a week. I've been just I haven't hardly been in the makerspace in a week. It can be whatever kind of go-kart you want it to be. You might have to scale it differently. It's scaled for a 4-inch action figure. I hope. I hope. It's a go-kart with some attitude, though. It's got Gatling guns. Mario can throw his little bananas and turtle shells all he wants. My go-kart has Gatling guns. Yeah, Mr. Buttram's got a name for it. He's calling it the Mighty Might. Which I like. I like it. I like it. It doesn't stick quite as readily as Scorpion did. Scorpion was spot on, dude. That was epic. I was using my dumpster without lids to as I break off my support material, I was tossing it in there because it was more convenient than tossing it in the trash can. And then when I got the supports all cleaned up, I just dumped it in the trash can. But I printed the original one where the lids were really bad. The lids don't stay on at all. I mean, they present well like this, but if you turn it upside down, they fall off. I mean, they will kind of stay when you put them up, kind of, if you get them just right. But that's why I had to go back and change things. I haven't printed the new version. Yeah, Scorpion was definitely some of your best work. Some of my best work too. Which the Scorpion will go public March 1st. February 1st. The first of every month I try to release new stuff to the public. So February 1st, a few days ago, I don't know how many of y'all saw, but I released the Sport Upgrade Appearance Kit for the VSV. So people printing the VSV can now print the lower profile sport roof and the sport front grille. The functional VSV is still a ways away from going public because I've got some tweaking to do on it. But man, is it fun to play with the functional steering and suspension, articulating suspension. I have fun with this. Yes, Mr. Buttram can print it all now because he is a Patreon supporter. He can print the Scorpion. He can print the functional VSV. He can even print this part of the tank. So you can print you some tank treads and play with them. I should be printing more tank treads right now and not go-kart body. Because I'm about 6 treads shy of completing the other side of the tank tread. Well, and I need to print like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to print 9 to get rid of the red patch. So, with breakage and whatnot, I should probably print about 20 to 25 more tank treads. Which, another thing that's holding me back on the tank is I want to put a spot to mount some spare tread on the body, and I haven't determined where I'm going to do that yet and how I'm going to do that. Because those of you who have seen a real tank up close, they have places to mount spare treads often on the tank. Later, Ben. Thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, so I should be printing tank treads instead of go-karts. Actually, I should be finishing the rebuild on the Tornado so that I can start using it. Because having 2 large format machines would make printing things like the tank go by faster. It'll make printing anything faster, really. And I've been holding off on that IC3D PET G I have because I wanted to use the Tornado to print it because of the bed temperature. because it's next to impossible to get the S4's bed up over 55. The reason the S4 is still waiting to start printing now is that it's still trying to get up to 50. It takes forever to get the bed heated up. So I'm going to get me a new computer in March, and then April, May, June. I think in June I'll order me a Prusa Mark III. And then in September I'll order me a MMU 2. Love royalty checks because they're not necessary to survive most months. So the September one will buy me a MMU 2 and pay for our vacation, because we usually take a vacation in October. Here we go. I need to bring my shop back in here. Uh-oh. Stop. The filament snapped. As soon as it started to move, the filament broke. Dadgummit. Ain't that just my luck? You see why I'm in a funk? Everything is like working against me. Everything. So the filament snapped as soon as the printer moved. And now I've got to find my wrench to take the, because it broke off. It broke off up inside the Bowden tube. So now I have to find my wrench to take the Bowden tube loose. The coupler loose. See, the spool that's on there is nearing the end of the spool, so it's fairly tightly wound at this point. I don't know if it got tangled, and when the printer moved it snapped it, or if it's just because it's so tightly wound that it's more brittle, and I haven't printed with it in a week. I don't know. Well, will that work? Nope. Not you. That was not good. Well, what the heck it's doing there? And the funk continues. It scared the crap out of my dog. Right? Yeah, it doesn't feel particularly brittle. It bends. Oh, there, I snapped it. But it must have been just bound up just the right way. Morning, Joe. I mean, but I mean, you can see I can roll it pretty tightly, and it's not snapping. Work it back and forth enough, it'll snap. Dadgum. Stick that down here, sharper. It's not wanting to cooperate with me. There it was brittle there again, too. What in the world? It'll go a length without being brittle, and then it'll have a brittle spot in it. All right, guys. Well, it's obvious this isn't going to work out with me today, or right now. I'm going to go take a little break for a little while because I'm frustrated. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you all for stopping by. You guys are awesome. We'll fight through this. We'll get through this. We'll get back to making stuff and designing stuff and building stuff and stuff. But right now, the February funk continues. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you next time.